Yeah. Now it's time for our guests for tonight from all the way from the Gold Coast. They are members of the newly crowned premiers of the Queensland NPL competition, the Gold Coast Knights. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome to the show Jakub Mudnic and Ante Poljak. Gentlemen, how are you? Good evening and welcome to the Auscrow Soccer Show.
Good evening, guys. How are we? Very well. We're doing good.
Very good.
How are you going?
Very good, very good. Well, gents, first of all, it's been a huge last couple of weeks, months even, up there on the Gold Coast. I was talking to Jodie Dickens, the senior director, earlier today, and she was saying it's amazing that we've only been in the NPL since 2019, but it's just been so many highs in that short amount of time. But speaking of the highs, like I said, the last few weeks has been absolutely incredible. What's the buzz like around at the moment at the Croatian Sports Centre on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it's been a great few years. I think I've been a part of the club for just over 2 seasons now, or last season and now this season. I guess just with the grand final last year and then Kappa Cup and so far the premiers this year, just keeps on rolling, and we're doing quite well. And I think that's kind of the collective feeling is the job's not finished. I guess in a way, we still got a grand final, we still got FFA Cup, so. As much as you want to sort of enjoy it in the moment, it's always, what's the next thing, I guess, what's the next thing on the plate. So, yeah.
Yeah, as Ante said, the buzz, it's good. We won the premiership a couple of weeks ago, won the Kappa Pro Series 2, which was the first one ever. So that was nice to be the first to have ever done that. Obviously, we've still got a few more very important games coming up. Obviously, we've got finals and we got the Australia Cup. So, like you said, we want to enjoy it, but we still got a bit of a head. Yeah.
No time for celebrations yet or hangovers, right? We'll leave that till later.
Yeah, that's it for sure.
Now, the record for the season, you've got 1 round to go, but you've won 13, drawn 6, and lost 2. Why did you lose those two games, guys? Come on, fire out. Why don't we have a perfect record there? What happened in those 2 losses?
The first game we lost because it was the opening game of the season, and I don't know. I don't even know what happened. I think we had 2 red cards or something like that, just a bit of a lapse in judgment. And then the other one is we were winning too many games. And Football Queensland reached out. They were like, "Look, mate, you're making everyone else feel bad." And we had to go easy on them a little bit. But no, look, we try and be as good as we can and try and perform every match. We've got a really deep squad and a lot of great players. So we've been having a good season and. Yeah, just trying to win as many games as we can, and I guess sometimes the losses are part of it. So they make you stronger, and you just got to move on.
Yeah, gents, we can see on the screen highlights of Sunday's game, the big game against Olympic there, which secured the premiership as well. But since then, you've had quite a few parties there at the club celebrating. It's great to see. Was it last night with the premiership cups and all the boys getting together with the committee members. Like I said, it's now there's still a lot to come. There's grand finals of Croatian tournaments. How hard is it now to focus on that, or is this the pinnacle? Is this the highest for you guys, or you've still got your mind on the job and Scotty McDonald's really making you guys focus now on the next task?
All right.
Jakub, you want to go first?
Obviously, so I still on the rest of the prizes. We've had 2. Scott's playing a big part in keeping us all, it's not over yet. We've still got a couple more weeks left. Once that's done, we get those jobs done, then it's time to party. So
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's just, that's pretty much like what we said earlier. It's always, you enjoy in the moment, after the 90 minutes, of course, you want to celebrate and be happy. And that's what you work hard for pre-season and during the season. So, you just got to keep going and keep pushing forward. And that's what we want. We want to win as much as we can and pushing the FFA Cup or rather the Australia Cup as far as we can. And just keep going.
Ante.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. And are the preparations any different? Because obviously, the Queensland competition is quite strong, but now you're coming out with against full-time professionals with Western United. Are you changing your routine in any way, or is it business as usual?
business as usual.
Pretty much, yeah, business as usual.
Nothing significant has changed.
Yeah, I feel like we prepare for every game. We might do a little bit of analysis, this or that, but we pretty much just focus every game like we're going to win it. We go out there to do our best and things like that. Obviously, looking at Sydney United last year, they had a great run, and you've got to beat A-League teams to make a push and to make a statement for future generations. And obviously, there's teams that have won against A-League teams before. We believe we can do it. We got a good squad, good depth. So we feel confident, but we just got to work hard and work towards that, and that's what we're doing in training. So yeah,
it's a great time to get them because they're in pre-season as well, just like Sydney United got them last year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, Jakob, I wanted to ask you, you're a Brisbane boy, yes, with a famous name like the Mudnich. Tell us a bit about your football career. Where did you start? Did you start at Brisbane, Croatia, and how did you end up at the Gold Coast Knights?
Yeah, so I started, not sure how old I was a kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old. I was playing it was Rockley United back then, but now it's Brisbane Knights. I was there for a few years, just playing with really my mates, family, had my uncles as coaches and stuff like that. Then pretty much up until maybe like 13, it was just for fun. I was just playing with my friends, cousins, never took it seriously. Then made it into the Raw Academy at 13 or 14, I can't really remember. I was there for a few years, and then when I was 18, I left and went to Capalaba, where I spent a year in the NPL. So that was my first year of senior football. Then after that season, went back to Raw for about a year.
Yeah.
So that was good. I was in the professional environment there. And then obviously sometimes things don't work out. So I left there, went back to Capalaba to finish the year, just some minutes in the legs. And then this year I made the move down the coast here. And yeah, that's the whole journey.
So do you live in Brisbane, on the Gold Coast, or do you live in Brisbane and make the commute?
I'm still in Brisbane, so it's about 50-minute to an hour drive here, there and back. So it's a bit of a distance, but it's worth it.
Oh, well done. And Ante, you're originally from Sydney, is that right? How did your football career develop?
No, I'm from Brisbane originally as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. No, so I've been to a fair few places. I played football in Sydney and Melbourne as well. Pretty much the same as Jakob. I just grew up. I didn't play for the Brisbane Croatian club here though. Growing up, I played at Olympic and Brisbane City and a few clubs like that. And then when I turned 18, went overseas, spent a few years overseas, and then went down to Sydney and Melbourne and did a bit of traveling, and obviously traveling around playing football and doing things like that. And then eventually came back to Brisbane and settled in at Gold Coast Knights, and haven't looked back since then. It's been very successful, and yeah, it's been great. I've been really happy.
Fantastic. That's great.
What are the strengths of the team this year? Have you recruited well? Is Scotty just a fabulous coach? I mean, what's been going on with the team? Tell us the ins and outs.
Look, I think probably the biggest strength of our squad is the depth. We've got how many? Like 20 players that are all can all start. At least 20 that can all start. They all have potential. I think most of the boys, if they're in any other team, they're playing every single minute. And that obviously brings a lot of competition into the team, and it pushes us all to be the best we can. And I think that's one of the main reasons we've had the year we've had so far.
Yeah, everyone's of a really high quality, so it helps. It makes trainings better, makes games better, and everyone's really close as well. So I guess that chemistry. So probably the depth and the chemistry just in the change rooms. It's great. Like we're here most nights, and we're not sick of each other. So
that's amazing.
Now, gents, I want to ask you: has it been a distraction? All this talk about a national second division, and Gold Coast Knights, we know have applied for it. Have you got kind of one eye constantly thinking, what's happening next year? Will we be playing in a national second division, or has really Mac has really tied it down and put you guys focusing on the here and now?
I think short-term focus right now.
Yeah.
There hasn't been much word of it as of lately for whenever the last announcement was about.
Things
progressed. Everyone's been very tight-lipped. I've been asking around, can't figure anything out. So
I think it would be good. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
Scott would love to do bigger and better things. I think it would be great, for teams in our league here in Queensland, and then obviously across the country.
Yeah.
It would be great if we could really get something like that going. But as far as that goes, we're more than happy to cross that bridge when it comes to it. I think that would be great competing at that level. So
it'd be great to be on the national stage for Gold Coast Knights. But obviously, what about personal ambitions? Would you like to do A-League? Would you like to go overseas? What are you guys thinking? Are you thinking about that future for yourselves?
Yeah, of course. I guess that's what you want to do. That's why you play football. You want to play at the highest levels and succeed and go as far as you can. That's the personal goal. And every game, every time you play, you want to perform the best and hopefully get seen. And sometimes it can be a little bit difficult in the NPL. It is kind of that league where you're in an in-between kind of zone. So I guess playing in these FFA Cup games and winning these finals, it can kind of help. So if that national second division came along, I think it would really help not just myself or Jakob. It would help a lot of players, I guess, propel into that more professional environment, I guess.
Yeah, I think it definitely, especially with the national second division, it helped a lot of younger players that don't get that opportunity in the A-Leagues because, the average age of probably most A-League teams is like 30.
Yeah, probably a bit older.
So it's hard to get into one of those teams as a young player, definitely.
Yeah. Well, let's look at those fixtures again, the Australia Cup fixtures. And aren't I'm the same. I often call it FFA Cup. To me, it's still the FFA Cup, yeah. But Sydney United taking on Brisbane Roar, Jakob's old club there. That's at the Sydney United Sports Centre this Saturday. On Tuesday, the Melbourne Knights hosting the Giant Killers, Campbelltown City, who on the weekend, or who in the first round, the round of 32, defeated Macarthur FC. And then it's on Wednesday night, all roads lead to the Gold Coast Knights Croatia Sports Centre, when the Knights host Western United. Will be a tough game, that one, but no doubt if we had one cup set in the opening round, we can have another one now. Why not? And my money's on the Gold Coast Knights at home to do well against Western United.
I just wanted to ask, so other than the two of you, for people tuning in and watching Gold Coast Knights for the first time around Australia, obviously on Wednesday evening through 10 play, who are the players to look out for?
He's going to make some friends. Whoever he picks, he's going to make some friends. I'll let you go first. Look, I think I'm not going to pick anyone, or I think the whole 11, whoever's playing, even the boys that come off the bench, you'll see some fantastic players, and will really give Western a run for their money. So everyone that you see playing or coming on to the pitch is absolute class player. So keep your eyes out.
Well said.
Well, gents, on that note, thank you very, very much for being a part of our show tonight. We really, really appreciate it. You've jumped on at short notice and you've been absolutely fantastic sports. And we wish you all the very best for the final series there in the NPL Queensland competition, as well as the Australia Cup coming up next Wednesday. So
go one further and win the grand final as well.
Yeah,
we'll win it all.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. Good on you. Thanks, Jakob and Ante.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Good on you. Awesome. Jakob Mudnic and Ante Poljak from the Gold Coast Knights. Charming fellas. And it's great to see the Gold Coast Knights doing very, very well up on the Gold Coast.